So this is my interview with Kyle and Kieran from Auger, which are an industrial band from Blackpool.
Hello.
Hello there.
So how long have you been in the music industry?
We have, as Auger, we've been doing this since July 2017, and we've been in bands before. I don't know when my first band was, probably about 2014-ish, probably about 6 years. Kieran, what about you?
Yeah, I'd say about the same, really. I think it's been on and off, like different bands every now and again, but with proper bands and stuff, especially with Auger, it's been about 6 years as well, I think.
So how did you start in music?
In general, from like the beginning, or the very beginning? For me, I used to have this game on PlayStation 1, and if you remember, it's called Music 2000. And when that came out, I think I was about 4 years old, and I had that game since it came out. So I finished off my brother, and so I've been making music from that point because I love that game. It was far better than anything else that I had. I just sort of made little loops and melodies and stuff from then. So I've been making music for a very long time, and playing guitar, acoustic guitar, since about 6, and then properly making music from about 12 years old. So probably about 10, 11 years been making it.
Yeah, I think for me it was just from learning guitar at probably about age 10 or something like that, because before that it was like I apparently didn't have that much interest in music according to my parents. Weirdly enough, but then it just kind of became more of like an obsession, learning to love it and all that, and getting into a lot of metal music and listening to tons of Metallica and Iron Maiden basically through a lot of like my teens, and then it just evolved into,
I think what really helps it is because we're both on the same page with this, is playing games. I feel like a lot of the music we listen to, and the reason that's given us inspiration to write music, is because of the music that we've heard in games, I think.
Interesting.
That is just a total off the cuff epiphany, I think, because I've never really thought of that before, but it is true. It's crazy the influence it has, and I found the Music 2000 as well, and it's crap. I don't know how I managed to make anything on it at all. I remember I just stuck this whale sound over the top of everything else because it made everything sound really sort of anthemic. I think that's all I did. But
this is personal because I have band influences.
So personal for me, all stuff from the 80s, like Tears for Fears, Gary Newman, Sister of Mercy, The Mission, Marillion, huge fan of Marillion. Any sort of bands like that have been a big influence, mainly because my dad listens to a lot of that music. And then also bands like Mesh. I listened to Mesh since as early as I can remember. And I think it's just sort of changed. It started out with punk, weirdly, as you mentioned before, and then I sort of got into metal through that, and then more of the goth stuff. So my mum's always been in goth bands, so it's sort of whatever she's listening to, I sort of listen to. So it ranges. I mean, the influences range from as varied as Brandy to Gojira to, I don't know, just anything in between, a bit of Shaggy on the side because everyone loved him. It knows no bound. That's one of the reasons why the music that we make is so varied, I think, just because we listen to basically anything.
Yeah, definitely. We've got lots of different things, like just even big influence like The Cure and The Smiths, and then lots of metal influences as well. Like, especially for me, like I've had a lot of metal influences like Devin Townsend and Gojira, and a lot of gentier kind of bands as well, like Tesseract and stuff. So like the more new age kind of prog stuff, or even Opeth as well, which is quite good.
Yeah, we started off. We met in a sort of theatrical metal band, and then we both discovered that we like sort of the goth stuff, which is quite niche, really. Yeah, things like Sister of Mercy, and we bonded over that. So we decided to make something from that, and sort of it's hard to write stuff in a big band, really. You've got so many different opinions, and then everything gets compromised. but we're very much on the same page all the time, so it made writing stuff really, really enjoyable and easy, really. So so we started this, and it's been going for up to almost 3 years. And we basically actually started because we listened to Chris Pohl, Blutengel. We listened to a couple of songs, and we sort of tried to recreate it, but in our own sort of just out of fun, really. And then we sent that over to the promoter, and they really liked it and asked us to make a whole album and gave us a deal based off that. So it was a bit of an accident, really. We never intended it to go anywhere, and now we're here.
Bit of fun to start off with, wasn't it? And then it's kind of blown up into all this now, which is awesome, really. It's been like a really cool adventure so far. Yeah,
it's been great. We've seen lots of places. Before Auger, I'd never been abroad before, and now we've been to 8 or 9 different countries we've played in, 60 cities or something crazy like that. So yeah, really, really fortunate to be able to do this. So, but we've always loved the goth stuff. That's how we got on, really, because Kieran said he liked Fields of the Nephilim, and I was like, I've never heard anyone under the age of 20 mention that. Under the age of 40 mention that to me, so that's good. You're my friend now.
It was a very good bonding thing, and then it was just blasting music on the way to like band practice and stuff with the other band, and just blasting like Typo Negative and all that lot.
That's it. Good stuff.
So, who are the band influences? Are they the same as yours?
I'd say they're very similar. We have this quite nice formula that we go to when finding influences and stuff. And it's that I bring a lot of the 80s sounds and that sort of influence, the melody, and then Kieran brings the heavy stuff, and then that's when it blends, and then that's when we get that sort of synth-driven, guitar-driven music. So it's almost like dance music with really heavy guitars. So yeah, the band is very much the same. There are certain bands when I do the production that I listen to for inspiration, like for this latest album I've been listening to Motionless in White, which I know is quite different, but I did try and take as much from it as possible, and of course stuff like Gary Newman and Nine Inch Nails and things like that, to try and get a different idea of production in terms of that. But I think the influences for the band itself are very much the same as the personal, because we write what we want to write what we enjoy, so
kind of write music that we want to listen to, and then in turn we've kind of shared it with everyone else, and if they happen to like it, that's great as well. So that's even better, really.
Yeah, definitely. When we were writing stuff, it always sounds really big-headed when we say this, but we always listen to what we've written. Like we'll put the album on in the car on the way to a gig, or anywhere we go, just blast it, because we write music that we would want to listen to based on the stuff that we like. So. And because I'd like to think that we have both have very good taste in music, and that's why it transpires that people like it. So
it's really important, isn't it, for you to like the music? Otherwise, how's it going to come across to everybody else?
So during lockdown, how have you kept yourself and your band motivated?
We've done some live streams. Obviously, with the social distancing, Kieran can't be in them, but we're going to try and find a way around that. Hopefully, if things ease up, we can do it. But it still has been quite a nice thing to people to see at least one member of the band and connect and still be involved with it. And then, obviously, on the run up to the album release last Friday, we had a video out every single day that either myself or Kieran did, talking you through each sort of song. So we've done bits like that. We're just trying to keep it. It did go quiet for a little bit, but that was only out of sort of out of respect, really, for everyone, because everything was just so up in arms. The last thing we wanted to do was force something down people's throats about our music and stuff. So we had a little bit of a break for about 2 or 3 weeks with no social media, and that was intentional. And then now we're back. We're just trying to keep the ball rolling, keep people excited about it, and then it was just basically just all the promotion for the album.
We've been very lucky that we've had an album release during this time. I think more than anything, like that's something to keep the ball rolling, and because that's what we always try to do. And we really do keep the ball rolling as much as we can, because if you trip up and you have such a space where there's no reactions or anything, it can be like a massive fallback, really.
Yeah, I think we rely heavily on sort of momentum, I think. So we always try and keep something new out there, and we're very conscious that we've got to keep it going, just so that, because we're only a small band, just make sure we're in the minds of everyone, and people are hearing stuff from us and our music, and just to keep us in people's view, really, so that when the gigs get announced, then people obviously come along to them. So it's very important for us to keep that momentum going. So
definitely, it's kept a lot of people a lot of people have almost like been thanking us and stuff about saying, like, even though this release was planned ages ago, it's kept a lot of people happy, and that there's been music and stuff, and we've had a lot of nice messages and stuff, and it's helped other people as well, I think, as well as us, like, to have something to look forward to, and that's been really good to actually have something at least.
Yeah, definitely.
How has COVID-19 affected your band?
It's been, I think, it's hard to sort of define it as a whole. It's affected us in lots of ways, but not necessarily all negative. It's been to sum it up, it's been a bit of a bummer, really, because it's sort of, it has cancelled all our gigs, or at least postponed them to the future, especially with everything that's going on. It was all timed around the album, and we can't move the album, but we can move the gigs. So it's thrown everything in disarray. But it has created lots of opportunities for us to really look at what we're doing on social media. It's given us opportunities to experiment with the live streams that we probably wouldn't have done before. Whereas after this is all gone, we're definitely going to do more live streams, because we love playing acoustic anyway. So so it's given us opportunity to do that. And I think with everyone being indoors, and they need something new content to watch or listen to, then having a new album out has been quite good. So there's, in that sort of respect.
Yeah, I think the only thing that we're really missing out on is probably just the gigs and meeting everybody. That's the thing we're probably missing the most as well, because that does suck, and we really do love doing the gigs and all the travelling and just everything that we get to do, out of the studio and stuff. So that's the only thing, but it's just keeping positive, like you say.
How do you think it's affected your genre?
That's a tricky one. I think it's not the biggest scene in the world. It's nowhere near as big as the metal scene, or as big as the pop scene or rock scene or anything like that. So, and it's very much a community-based scene as well. So everyone knows everyone. So I feel, yes, there's going to be some heartache in that, that social element has been taken away, because I know a lot of these people, it's one of the few times they do get out to see their friends at the gigs and at the goth nights and stuff. So with that out of the way, I imagine it's been hard. But at the same time, because it's such a close community, there's so many forums and groups on Facebook, and they're all going mad with people sharing new songs and talking and stuff. And there's been some virtual goth nights as well. So because I think it's still going to be very, very strong because of the community element, stronger than perhaps a different genre would be, that doesn't quite have that same sort of close-knit community feel to it.
Everyone's like sticking together and helping each other through it, aren't they? And everyone really like sharing as much music as possible, and like I feel like everybody just knows everyone, literally, like in the scene. It's quite like nice, really, and everyone can support each other.
So do you think there's been an increase in influence on public listening?
Yeah, I don't really know, really, without any sort of reports to sort of look at the actual stat. I think from the feeling, I'd like to think that people are perhaps because they're having loads more time to listen to music. I imagine a lot of people are working from home. They're not in an office space, so they can listen to music where they probably wouldn't have been able to before. And there's going to be lots of situations like that. So perhaps the music is getting a bit taxing, and they're looking for new things to listen to because they've been listening to the same things more frequently than they would. I'd like to think that, because obviously that means that people will, look at smaller bands like us, and even smaller, and sort of experiment with different things. I don't think there's going to be too much of a negative impact on it. I wouldn't have thought so anyway, just because the whole music, one of the great things about it is it's personal, and you don't have to share it with everyone. You can listen to it just you with headphones on. So I feel like, given that this is a situation where people can't be near other people, then that sort of surely should lend a hand to people listening to more music. So yeah, I don't think it'd be a negative impact, if any.
Yeah, I'd like to think people are definitely sharing a lot more music and trying to say, you know, if someone is listening to our music or someone else's music, they'll probably happily be sharing it with more people that they're trying to keep in contact with and making sure that they're safe and happy and keeping okay. And so, yeah, like you say, it's hard to say without seeing any reports or anything, but I'd like to think it definitely is being shared and being searched for more now than ever, really.
Yeah, I feel like from what I've seen on our groups and stuff, that quite a few people, particularly old friends that haven't necessarily shown much of an interest in the music, have started to now. Now, whether that's because of the free time they've had or whatever, but I'm seeing quite a few names pop up that haven't before, that are starting to look at, you know, the live streams that we've done or listen to the album and have started to join the groups and get a bit involved. And I think then when they get involved and they're part of the community, people, it's that social connection again, and then that makes them happy because they're getting that social fix, if you will. So I think it can be very, very beneficial. So I feel like I actually feel like it's grown, if anything.
Yeah, definitely.
I think we did well. Safe from all the fighting, the wars they got.
Releases during quarantine.
So yeah, we've been included on an NHS compilation that I think all the proceeds from that are going to go towards the NHS during for the COVID-19 support. So we've done that. Yes, and I've written down a couple of new ideas for stuff, and also compiled a few ideas for future video projects as well for Auger. So yeah, a couple of ideas, both music writing and sort of ideas to try out as well.
But it's like you get a lot of ideas though. I know, like you're constantly like coming up with new ideas and writing things down and stuff. So whenever I come round, there's always like plenty to go off and lots for us to do, really. So
yeah,
it's good that there's always something happening at Auger HQ anyway, as we like to call it.
Do you feel like you have obtained good promotion during lockdown?
That's so.
Yeah, I'd say so. We did those videos on the promotion of the album, and yeah, they've all got about 500, 600 views each, some more. So it's been quite good. I will say the reach on Instagram and Facebook and everything has been terrible during this lockdown, where we would normally get anywhere between sort of 80 and 200 likes on anything that we do. We're struggling to get 50 or 60, and I think it's because instead of everyone being at work until a certain time and then having their tea and then everyone's online for about 7, everyone's online throughout the day, so there's no real peak time for anything, so everything's sort of diluted a lot. So we're having to pay to have our posts promoted to people that already like our page, just to make sure that they see it, because some people didn't know about the live stream that had liked our page and normally like our stuff, just because they didn't see it, because of the whole agenda's been ruined with the online.
Well, there's so much stuff being posted now, isn't there?
Yeah, it's constant throughout the day, because it's just there's no specific time that people are online, so it's just everything's just, and as you say, because it's the only sort of platform that people have to be social, because they can't see people in person. I think it's all contributed to it being quite watered down. But we still had some good reach. I think doing those videos has really helped, because it sort of built up a bit of momentum. And then when we did the album release post, it got seen by thousands of people. So the plan worked, sort of thing. But I feel like it would have been even more effective had this not been a situation, because normally when it's our stupid faces we post up, we get loads of likes, but it's now when we put up the video and no one was seeing it, and it wasn't because anyone was sick of us like I originally thought. I'd messaged a couple of people and said, have you seen this post out of curiosity? And they said they haven't. So, and they normally like all the stuff. So it's, yeah, I feel like things are just getting missed. But there's the promotions on obviously we use Facebook predominantly, are very, very cheap. You can put £1 into something and reach a few hundred people quite easily. So we've just been doing that and then keeping it rolling just to sort of ensure that, yes, there's going to be a lot of content out there. Yes, the time is all skewed, but let's try and saturate it as much as we can with our stuff to make sure we're getting our reach. Especially as a small band that rely on momentum, we can't afford to lose too much momentum with it because, then it's hard to build it all back up again. We've been working hard for a long time for it all to be gone away.
Definitely, it's very crucial, isn't it? Like, just we need people to see it, and that's like the most important thing for anyone, really, isn't it? And
yeah.
Promoting it and making sure people are actually seeing things, especially at this time, is like it's quite difficult. But at least some people are seeing it, and we're trying to get it across to as many people as possible, really.
So how has your band been receiving revenue during lockdown?
So we normally it's a bit tricky because we don't really see the revenue anyway, because we don't. Obviously, we work, so we don't rely on the band to sort of fund ourselves. It's just the band pays for itself, so it's hard to really keep track of it. We have obviously had our website, so we've been fortunate enough to have that, and there's been loads of orders of t-shirts and albums as we normally would. People don't normally like doing that because they prefer to do it in person, because I want to see you when I do it and I want to make sure the money goes to you. So it's sort of been, I had to reassure people that, look, because of this is almost like our virtual merch stand, so picture it as that and go over there, and they've been doing that, and the response has been quite good. Of course, the main source is doing the actual gigs themselves, so it's taken a hit because we're not doing them, but it hasn't really made much of an impact because we don't rely on that. It's just been a delay. It hasn't really been noticed. It's just nice. We just want to make sure that everyone that wants to hear it, our album and hear our music and support us, can support us in the way that they can. Yeah. So we try and make that as easy as possible. I've sent out quite a lot of albums for free to people that haven't been able to afford it or have been, a bit of hardship caused by this, and we're not asked about any money we make. We've never taken any money from it at all, ever. We just want people to listen to it. So if it means that I throw £10 in the pot for the sake of sending out a free album, then so be it. We don't really mind, really.
Yeah, we've never taken anything, and that's always been like a really good thing, just to make it fully self-sufficient, really, and just let it run itself almost, and then we just kind of keep pushing it, and hopefully, it just keeps going and gets out to more people. And like I say, we're just helping people by sending albums and stuff. It's just about everyone else, really. It's about us. Like, we enjoy it. We enjoy like helping people or just keeping people happy and whatnot. So
yeah, as long as we can still function, we're not really bothered.
Yeah.
in a nutshell, we're okay. But if you do have £1 million, throw it our way.
From us, and they've left us all to die, and now there's nothing left.
So, do you think this will have an impact on the music industry? And if so, why?
Yes, I think it would be incredibly bizarre if it didn't, given the nature of the music industry based on performances, to go out en masse to see people perform. That's sort of the whole point of it all. So yeah, there's going to be an impact. What it will be, I don't know. Obviously, we like to think positive, but I think it's gonna outweigh it between the people that don't want to go because they're scared, to the people that want to sort of seize the day and want to take as many opportunities as possible to go and support live music. It being a greater amount, I feel like it will somewhat sort of balance out, and I suppose the impact will be then, if it does balance out, it'd be more of a gratitude thing, that thankful that you can now do this, you can now go and see bands and stuff, and I took it for granted before, just being able to see bands whenever I wanted to. So yeah, I feel like that's the only real impact. Is going to be more psychological in my view. Yeah, it's all part of an experience, isn't it? It's the dressing up. It's not just the music, and it's the people you meet, and it's just having a sense of purpose with what you're doing with whatever evening or anything like that is, or throughout the day if you're preparing. So yeah, it's a big loss. And I think that's where that comes in, that people will appreciate it more, that they took it for granted, perhaps even if they didn't take it for granted before. I feel like it'd be a bit of a shock to everyone that, you know, that this has all happened, and yeah, I just think people will be more grateful for it, and hopefully we'll invest more in it and make more of an effort to go and see bands and support bands that they like.
Yeah, usually how we've met most of the bands, really. We've made a lot of relationships with other different smaller bands as well, like because we've all been at the same level. We've all got to help each other out and like promote and listen to each other's music, and so that's just, yeah, it's definitely important after a list to just like make more of an effort to actually listen to people. And it's beneficial to everyone if you find something else at the end of the day that you enjoy listening to. That's a bonus, isn't it? And yeah, it's a bonus for everybody at that point.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, definitely. Can I think of anything? No, I can't. It's hard because the album's out and the gigs have been cancelled. So Sears in November at the Out of Line Weekender, if it goes ahead, and Sears at the other place if it goes ahead. No, I think as a message to everyone, just be open with music. Give it a chance. I think our music is very likable. Obviously, of course, I'm biased, but we try and make it as melodic and as interesting as possible, and it's super, super varied. So yeah, I feel like just it doesn't cost anything to listen to something on a stream or just a little preview of it. So you never know what you might like, and the new album's out, and I feel like there is quite literally a track there for everyone. Even if my nan likes it, someone out there will like it with at least some taste. Because she hears one guitar and she's like, "Ooh, it's too heavy. It's this rock and roll stuff." She doesn't sound like that, or do this with her hands. But either way, you know, it's. I feel like just be open to it, really, as a message for not just from us, but for everyone, just to be open to new music and give it a shot, really.
Yeah. Music's helping a lot of people, so just giving it a few minutes to listen to a song, or even an hour to an album, you know, could change anything, really. It's very important, I think.
And by the love time, I feel our walls have fallen. They're crumbling down to the ground since we've been stolen. Stop this high tide, because I think I'm drowning. I never learned to swim, I swear my death is coming.
If you're going for a bad time, or if you're really happy and you want to enhance that can help it. And that is a very cute dog. Sorry, it's totally off subject, but that's just like coming to view. I was like, oh.